Welcome, you've reached Hacked Games. My name is Jeremy, and this is episode 17 of our Reformed Fiend playthrough of Pathfinder. Last episode, we did clear the remainder of the Grey Garrison, definitely got over, and will never again mention any of the bugs that we ran into until we do. And then we had a party at the Defender's Heart, where Queen Galfrey popped up unexpectedly and made us the Knight Commander of the 5th Crusade. We're still cursed, unfortunately. We'll have to look and see if there isn't a friendly cleric somewhere in the camp that we're in who will assist us with getting rid of that. Irabeth is going to follow us around during this first part in order to, monitor us. I'm not sure what she's doing exactly. And, let's see, we did take the mythic update on our character and... Oh, here it is. And we picked to be a demon and acquire limitless rage. We did this in order to add a gore attack to our natural attacks that we'll be doing alongside our normal attacks here. And limitless rage, obviously, so that we can use our blood rage ability without limit every encounter. So without further ado, I guess let's start talking to the people in the camp here. It looks like Nenio and the Storyteller are right over here. What do you have to say, Nenio? Nothing. Storyteller. Allow me to congratulate you on your victory, and on acquiring mythical powers capable of casting down the strongest of demons. Hey, I got that page you were looking for from the Grey Garrison. I see. Myself. Young. Energetic. Able to see. Oh gods, have I found the key to my past? Finally, I will find out what my own mind has been hiding from me. Thank you, and please, follow me to my story. Let us embark on this journey together. They are leaving. The people of Keonan, faced with the coming Earthfall, and admitted that they were incapable of handling this disaster. Proud rulers, artful crafters, brave warriors, wise mages, and skilled healers, all of them hurry to the gate to Savirin? I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. Looking around fearfully. A clean, safe world is waiting for them there. My people decided not to fight for Galarian. I am ashamed, and I am sorry for them. Their hearts wavered in the face of the catastrophe, but my will is strong, and I am staying. My kinfolk are looking at me angrily. How dare I diminish their decision with my recklessness? My choice makes them cowards, traitors of their own home. One of them, my former mentor, looks at me bitterly. He hands me a neat notebook with a tree bark cover. In case you change your mind. With a heavy sigh, he returns to the line of those departing. Forgive me, brothers and sisters. I watched the gate of the Savarian stone close, separating me from them. It's time for me to go too. I open my master's notebook. These are his notes about traveling between worlds, in case you change your mind. He hopes the burden I shouldered voluntarily will be too much. I will lose heart and find my way to Savarin. That'll never happen, my mouth set stubbornly. I tear my master's notebook to pieces. I use my forced pride as a shield against my fear of what is to come. Why did the elves decide to flee and not fight? They are afraid to lose what they have. They were rulers, long-lived and powerful. They valued their lives and sunshine too much to enter the fight with the aftermath of Earthfall. Your mentor is a mage? Then you must be too, yes? Yes, I am an archmage, and this title is well-deserved. I have acquired delicate mastery and succeeded in many areas of magic. But curiosity has always pushed me toward new knowledge since the first day of my apprenticeship. What is the Sovrian Stone? A magnificent crystal bent into an arch by a mighty hand of an ancient divine creator. Our great gate to other worlds. It breathes power. It dreams of eternity. Why are you angry at your fellow elves? I spent many hundreds of years in Keonan. I have always admired the way my kinfolk cared for the forest that was our home, but the rest of the world seemed to mean nothing to them. But I love Galarian, all its places, all the forms it manifests in. I traveled widely, and then came home and told my kinfolk about my travels, but they weren't interested. They only cared about Keonan. Their lack of desire to hear about the wider world makes me sad and angry. What happened next? Earthfall happened at night. I'm standing at the top of my tower, many miles to the north of Keonan, and I see a blaze far in the south. I hear a horrendous rumble. The air is groaning, giving way to a huge rock rushing down on my world. And then, a blow, vibration that penetrates everything, reaching down into the bowels of Galarian, and up into the vaults of the sky. Crunching bones, blood from burst vessels, filling my eyes with darkness. Drowning in timelessness, along with countless denizens of Galarian. Never before have we been so united in our feelings. When I come round, the darkness remains. My first terrible thought, I am blind. But no, little by little I begin to see the stone wall. I am alive. But why is it so dark? The answer is quick. The smell of ash everywhere. The great burnt sacrifice filled the air with incinerated particles of what was recently the continent of Aslant. Great clouds of ash covered the sky, cutting us off from the sun and the moon, dooming us to dusk at day and complete darkness at night. My heart sinks with fear. Treacherous thoughts fill my mind. Why did I stay? Why didn't I run like everyone else when I had the chance? I clench my teeth and stand up to watch Earth fall, proudly, like the last Archmage of Keonan should. Will my world really perish like this? Will I perish? No, that will never happen. I am still alive, and I can fight Earthfall in the darkness. Not run from it in a blind panic like my kinfolk and my cowardly teacher. But what can I do? I will not stop the disaster. I will hardly be able to save empires from their destruction. What can I do? I am but one Archmage, powerful and weak at the same time. What is Earthfall? A disaster of untold proportions. An unborn planet dropped on Galarian by blind fate or someone's evil will. A blow so strong that the continent of Aslant is destroyed within moments, turned to ashes, wiped off the face of Galarian. In this burnt sacrifice, clouds of ash and dust are born, stealing our sun. Without the warmth of our star, the air cools. The soil is barren. Dark creatures crawl out of their lairs to rule. And the most frightening thing, without the sun, all hope dies in the heart. This is the age of darkness. What was that tower you mentioned? It's my retreat to the north of Keonan, my home away from home, my observatory. From its top I watched the stars and, when they were correctly aligned, the other worlds as well. Here in the northern wastelands, I found the highest mountain and built a tower on top of it. On clear days I could see the mist over the lake of mists and veils in the east. That's how high I was. What are you going to do next? I don't know. I need to think. My opponent, Earthfall, is much stronger than me. It is merciless. It does not simply destroy life, it kills an era, ending the greatness of Galarian civilizations. They will sink into oblivion, be forgotten as if they had never existed. I need to think. Forgive me. I shouldn't have raised my voice. This story was much harder than many before it, most likely because I played the main role in it. It is so strange to see myself, feel the emotions tearing me up inside, those that I felt a long time ago, and not remember them. It's like I split. I became both the storyteller and the main character. Too bad the story ended at that moment. Please, if you find other pages covered with ancient elven writings in your travels, bring them to me. I might be able to shed some light on my past, and we will find out how my story ended, and perhaps even why I forgot it. If we choose one, we'll go back into the story, so we're just going to say thank you for our stories. And I believe this goes back, yep. Have you decided to join the Crusade? I have decided not to, I'm afraid. My path and the path of the Crusade lead in the same direction, but, alas, they are not yet one and the same. After the demons were driven away from Cannabis, the path into the Worldwood became open, if only temporary, and I am planning on using this opportunity to visit. It doesn't matter now. I'd hate to bore you with the details of my venture, which may prove useless, even for myself. However, I'll try to return to the Crusaders and aid them in their confrontation with the demons after I'm done. I hope to meet you again, in this world rather than the next. And we're going to go ahead and get him to examine the gold buckle that we have. I guess he goes directly into that. An old thing, created long ago by divine will, but the power that gave birth to it is lost in the darkness. However, the relic still lives on, though it has changed. I wonder what secret is it hiding? Would you like to know? Bring me 5 vials of magic essence, and I will revive this object, and with it its story. Oh, he didn't go right into it. Okay, so we have the 5 magic essences. We'll go ahead and do the restore this relic for me. The Covenant of the Inheritor. That is the name of this relic. This buckle once adorned the belt of a glorious knight from Mendiv. It is the embodiment of a promise made to a young girl by a powerful deity. A great promise that has changed much in the world. I see a strange vision. It's as if we can see the events happening to it in the past. A burning sensation spreads from our chest, the very spot where our mysterious wounds sometimes open. What is this? I had a vision. How strange. You are a remarkable mortal. No one has ever shared my visions before. What do you think caused it? Perhaps these things have something to do with your destiny, or the fate of someone related to you. I do not have an answer, only advice. Seek out such relics. Look for what links them all, and you will know the truth. Alright, well, we have more important things to do. Let's see if we got something for that. I'm assuming it might be in important items. Yeah, we didn't get any important items. Oh, let's learn some spells real quick. Oh, this is new. This symbol of Iomedae, when placed on a belt, emits a holy aura. All party members in 30 feet get +2 bonus to caster level checks made to overcome spell resistance. And our weapons become good aligned. As if they were made of cold iron. So I think that's going to go on our main character. This was supposed to be on Ember, I thought. I dropped it on her, but I must not have. This is our tankard to summon the Azada. Oh, and it looks like it is automatically on. Yep, sounds good. Alright, let's look around some more. We'll do a little reconnaissance to see if there's stuff for us to steal here. Just run along the back. It doesn't look like there is on this side.
I'm gone.
Let's go to the other side real quick. Or at least not any that we found. We didn't roll a perception check though, so I'm assuming that there probably isn't.
Follow my steps.
They grab that. There, we failed it. And land failed it? I didn't know land could even take one. I think this thing is something that we could technically find, but maybe we only get one chance at that one. Alright, that kind of covers all of the back end there. We didn't do the other corner over there, but that's fine. We'll maybe do that later. Crusader. Loot. We're going to pick up all the loot we can. I mean, we're heavily overloaded right now anyways, so being more overloaded isn't going to do us any damage. No one up there to talk to. Who's that? No, okay. Dog's apparently barking at us. Hey, Ember. She's seen a lot of happy faces. Oh, and this is the Eagle Watch campsite, I guess, which we needed to do as part of a quest to just investigate all the campsites around. Let's go into the Tyrbade's tent. We'll invade Anevia and Irabeth's privacy here. Don't worry, Irabeth, I'm not stealing your stuff. I'm just requisitioning it for my use later. She doesn't seem to care, so I'm assuming she meant to give it to us anyways. There is something's tent. I don't think Erebeth will care if we take her stuff. She looks like has lots of books laying around. Oh, what did Erebeth say there? It seems she brought a lot of unnecessary items along with her. I don't know, about the same as you did. She must be an alchemist. She's got some alchemist fire that we picked up. Darren, don't run off with my gear here. Ah, there you are, you dashing troublemaker, you. Our short acquaintance is coming to an end. Very soon, you will depart on your crusade, where you'll scrape by on horrible rations, struggle vainly to fall asleep amidst snoring soldiers, be rudely awoken by the freezing cold, and have to look upon the dour faces of self-righteous prigs before you finally perish in the maw of sunbeam. I have a long journey ahead of me, too. I've just rented a sailboat in the south. I've also hired an excellent chef, and a host of other entertainment. Well, to each their own, I suppose. You know, I'm genuinely sad to see you go. It sounds like mockery, forgive me. I cannot switch off my venom gland on a whim, you see, but you intrigue me. If only we could have spent a little more time together, but of course, not under these conditions. Let the Crusaders and the demons have each other. With any luck, they'll take this entire sanctimonious spectacle down with them. I'm just gonna say I'll be blunt. You don't intrigue me. Not in the way you obviously had in mind. But you are a valuable companion. You could have definitely stayed on the bench in my team. Who? Me? Where? In this traveling pardon me, in this army? You must be joking. Of course I won't stay. Who in his right mind would trade a luxurious and carefree life for this crusade? In any case, I intend to wait until the army departs. I do love a good send-off, especially when it is I who is staying and someone else who is heading off to meet a dreary and hopeless end. Sometimes it does one good to ruminate on the unfairness of life. Well then, farewell, Commander. I assume I shall be your most precious memory on this most disgusting and exhausting road to the pointless slaughter of battle. Or, if not the most precious memory, then at least the most stirring. Oh, we've got Jurnog over here. Good day, do you remember me? I'm Jurnog. We spoke in the Defender's Heart. So you're the commander of the Crusade now. Erastil knows it's hard to imagine someone worthier of taking up the post than the Savior of Canabras. May the good gods help you prevail. Wait, who are you? The humble priest of Erastil. I completed my trials and took my holy orders only recently, and now I am serving my God and the people to the best of my ability. Well, what were you doing in Defender's Heart? What I was bound to do under my holy orders. I healed the wounded and buoyed up the healthy to fight another day. Have you joined the Crusade? Don't take it amiss, but no, I haven't. I have my own task. I am needed in Chili Creek, a tiny hamlet, which, due to some oversight, has been left without a priest these many years. I'm about to set sail for there. I'll be making my journey along Old Man's Cellar. Alright, well, I'll have to go. Woljif, do you have anything? He doesn't have anything. I think there was something to steal up here. Horgus! Oh, Horgus doesn't have anything for us. Wilster Garms, the camp quartermaster, at your service. How may I be of help? Well, tell me about yourself. There isn't much to tell, really. I was born in Canabras, in a humble family. I got an education, taught myself to read and write, got drafted into the army, spent 3 years as a shield bearer in the first line. I left after I did my time and joined the Stonemasons Guild. Then moved on to the shipwrights and rose to crew chief. Sailed to Ayabara twice and returned with goods. Made some money, built a house, but haven't started a family yet. I think I will after we are done with this war. But a few years ago, something started gnawing at me. I got this feeling, like I needed to go home, that there was a storm headed for my native city. And when there's trouble in Mendev, there's only one thing to do. You go to a recruiter and sign up for the army. And so I did. At first they wanted to make me an infantry sergeant, but then they decided I'd be better fit for the supply department. I can take care of army property, and I'm pretty handy around a warehouse, not to mention I know how to manage a band of helpers. And so that's how I became the quartermaster. Well, what are your duties in this camp? A little bit of everything. What's an officer to a soldier? A strict father. So what does this make a quartermaster like myself? Something like their mum. That's what. I make sure the lads have everything they need to defeat the enemy and come back from battle in one piece. That means food, firewood, medicine, tents, mended clothes, fixed weapons. The horses have got to be fed and watered, the camp's got to be fortified by the evening and broken up by the morning. I make sure the wages are paid on time and the wagon wheels don't squeak. And then there are reports. Gods, until you asked. I never realized how many duties I actually had. What do the soldiers think of me as their new commander? They mostly tell tales about your unusual power, but they don't shy away from talking about us as a person, too. Soldiers are always like that. If Iomade herself descended from heaven, you bet they'd jabber on about how she grips her sword and how good she looks in her armor. Word is that you're a good swordswoman and you're a spellcaster. There was even a heated debate as to whether you wield your weapon with your left hand and cast spells with your right, or the other way around. Folks came down on the side of the sword in the right, spells in the left. But I bet they can't wait for a chance to see you in action, just to be sure. Well, I really haven't cast any spells in combat yet. I do intend to later, but... well, usually before combat. Alright, well, sir, show me what we have on offer here. So this is our kind of one-stop shop for magic stuff. I'm not going to sell him all my garbage because I don't want to fill his... I mean, he's got a pretty extensive inventory here already anyways. I don't want to fill it up with garbage. Got a Crusader down here. Let's head over here. This is the Canabras Knights. I'm not sure how they differ from the Eagle Watch, to be honest. Into the chapel tent. Nothing. Well, this must be the altar. The Sanctified Altar. I guess I think it said it was to Abadar. This is Desna, Sarenrae, Iomade, Rascal, and Torag.
Let us be careful.
No Lamashtu shrines, unfortunately. More loot. Might be Lamashtu. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name either. Hi, Camellia. Why are you hanging out in the clinic? Those guys don't have anything to say. And the recruits from Neroshian. So these must have been the guys that came with Galfrey. And Sela. They're laughing and passing around a flask. So picture this. My sword is by the fire, there's 2 goblins about to snatch it, and 3 more are digging through my tent. And I'm sat in the bushes wearing just my mail shirt, wondering what the blast to do. An old mercenary taught me about the mail shirt. You can't sleep in armor, but it's not so bad in mail once you get used to it. Too bad no one told me not to go in the bushes without my sword. So what did you do? What did I do? I barked like crazy. Goblins are afraid of dogs, you know. So they all went wild and started running around. I spot my sword, they spot me. So I jump over the fire, wearing nothing but my mail shirt, and I grab my sword. And I yell in my big tough voice, "Oh, Inheritor, grant me the power to crush these filthy creatures." My sword's shining, the goblins are screaming. I jump to attack them, and they fight back. But I fought them off somehow. But ever since then, I never take a step without my weapon. Haha! That's some story. Hey, stop gulping that. Leave some for us. We've only just set off, and you're already drinking? And with the queen in the camp. Stop this at once. Right you are, Commander Tierbade. We are but drinking to the queen's health. Out of these options, we will select lawful. Sela, show some discipline. My apologies, Commander. That's better. You're a paladin in an army, not a mercenary on a raiding party. Make sure you act like it. Yeah, Sela. What she said. I'm not really sure why they didn't just make Irabeth the Knight Commander before. I think this is back to where we've been now. So we've done the entire outside at this point. And I didn't see any... Well, Lan, I suppose, didn't see anything. Or Lon? I don't know, they pronounce his name weird. Not as I would expect it to be pronounced. Good afternoon, your commanderness. Do you remember us? We're the crew from the next door theater company. The one you saved in Canabras back when you weren't your commanderness yet. As you can see, we've come on the campaign with you. We signed up to clean pots and mend the soldiers' clothes. Keeping up a theater is expensive, so we all have to take side jobs. But we don't stop what we're doing. We're going to put on a play about your legendary feats. Of course, the crowd scenes are difficult. We can't find the people to play the hordes of demons, and we decided against using a ritual to summon real demons. Luckily, we have Master Ken. He's invented a way to solve this problem using sound. We caught a pig and some piglets who ran away from a burned-out village. We put the piglets in a box and scare them a little, and the sound they make is just like an approaching demon horde. I'm hesitant to agree with that. But the most important question is, of course, choosing the lead actor who will play the great Knight Commander. We had to write Barney over it, breaking a number of lances as well as a shovel, a rolling pin, and a set of back scratchers. But we just couldn't decide no matter what. Maybe you can help us. We have two candidates that are most suited to the role. One will have the honor of conveying your heroism upon the stage. A Cyclops Actor? He's completely tame, believe me. Has a few issues with articulation, but what a powerful physique. We'll make him a nice costume, wash him up, brush his hair. He looks bald to me. Truth be told, in our show, you mainly just make short, heroic exclamations at the fateful moment. Like, onward! Or, we'll never give up! Or, my heart burns with courage. Lambkin can definitely handle the script. Is this sweet half-elf a candidate for my role? Of course! Lily is the most impressed with you and wants the role very, very much. Differences in appearance don't matter. She's a wonderful dancer and would allow us to introduce elements of ballet into the play. Well, I don't know. If she's impressed and really wants the role, I don't know if Lambkin does. We'll give it to her. Lily the dancer. Wonderful. Sorry we took you away from all the important things heroes and commanders do. We're off to rehearsal. I mean, first we'll wash some pots, then we're off to rehearsal. Let's go, you lazy lumps. Don't embarrass old grandma now. Yeah, Lan doesn't have anything important to say to us right now. I think we've been everywhere then. So let's pop into the main tent here. This one's the queen, I think, so... Leoder wants to talk to us after the formalities. Nura just says she's happy to help. And Sociel says it's good to meet us. So, what does the queen say?
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds. I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Dresden, our lost outpost within the World Wound. The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomedae herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation. A forced march to Dresden awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear. I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Sociel Vainik. One of the famous inquisitors of the Church of Iomedae also wants to talk to you. The Honorable Leota, whom everyone calls Hawkblade.
I do not wish to keep you, Commander. The matter I must discuss with you is extremely important, but it is not directly related to the Crusade. You no doubt wish to meet your new comrades and speak with Her Majesty. Therefore, I shall leave you now, but I ask that you seek me out in the camp at your earliest convenience.
Hi!
Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a ballad. There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons. I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it.
That's very much the, I guess, Lindsay attitude and role of, I guess she was a bard that was chronicling the Kingmaker.
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
You'll have plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, her trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us? Irabeth, you can go too.
When we met at Defender's Heart, I never imagined you'd make me commander of the new Crusade.
Some actions may be deemed bold, or even extreme. And beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss, a war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance, and I am willing to stake everything on it. However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the Crusade. I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many. People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the Wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
Did you know that the souls of angels from heaven are confined in the Wardstone?
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual Celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomede's herald erected the first Wardstone in Kenobris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomede easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works. Nevertheless, I am pleased that you solved the mystery of the Wardstone in Kenobris, and were able to save this gift of Iomede. It was a deed worthy of a Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
You know, or you should know, I received an unusual gift in the caves beneath Kenobris. In a vision, I saw the death of an angel called Lariel. Somehow, he was able to grant me the ability to reveal the light of heaven.
Lariel. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the world wound grew, and Dresden fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, we had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel, even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on this special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory, and we rushed headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
I have some questions about my mission to retake Dresden.
Of course. I shall answer.
How did the demons manage to conquer Dresden?
That's a good question. Its walls were built by dwarf craftsmen, and the power of the Sword of Valor protected the city. Alas, where raging hordes failed, a single lying tongue was all they needed to succeed. The demoness Minago convinced a young and ambitious crusader named Staunton Vane that the banner belonged on the battlefield. He went on a daring and unapproved raid, and the banner ended up in the enemy's hands. The city fell soon after. Ever since then, for 7 decades, it has served as a citadel for the forces of the Abyss.
Staunton Vane? I saw him at the Grey Garrison. He defected to the demon's side.
Oh, really? I wasn't informed of this. After Dresden fell because of Staunton, he was nearly sentenced to death. He deserved it. In wartime, men are hanged for far less. But you have no idea what a terrible sight it is. A raging crowd of crusaders baying for blood. Never have my fighters looked so much like the demons we are fighting. I commuted Staunton's sentence and stripped him of his rank. Not just for him, But for my army and my country, we are not Hell Knights. We do not maintain discipline with public executions.
I think I'm going to go the lawful option here. You shouldn't have stayed the Hand of Justice. If he died, he wouldn't be betraying you again now.
Justice was nowhere to be found that day. The army had become a mob, and the tribunal was a prelude to what that mob craved. Bloody carnage. I am the Queen of Mendev, and the leader of the Crusades. Justice served on my behalf cannot look like that.
What are the forces at my disposal?
Everyone we saw today at the parade. First among them, the Eagle Watch, who remain a powerful force thanks to Irabeth's resourcefulness. Also marching with you are several minor knightly orders, as the minor volunteer units like to be called. And finally, I have personally selected some recruits from Neurosian. They have little in the way of battle experience, but great determination and a thirst to prove themselves. I've always thought that an army benefits from at least one such unit. These forces, as I said, are not enough for a march on Dresden. You will have to hire additional troops with the funds that have been provided to you. But for a brave commander, and I hope you are one, that is just the beginning. If you retake Dresden, recover the holy power of the Sword of Valor, and gain a foothold in the region, then new armies will join under your banner. The Fifth Crusade is only beginning. Many battles and victories lie ahead.
It's been decades, and no one has managed to retake the city. Why do you think we're different?
We have a chance now that we haven't seen in decades. But it's more than that. You created this chance for us by foiling the demon's plans in Canabris. The army who attacked the city came straight from Dresden. Demon hordes from the Abyss are usually encamped there, but many of them perished on the streets of Canabris. We must attack swiftly, before they can restore their forces. When the city is free and the Sword of Valor appears before our soldiers, they won't be sending in any more reinforcements. Demons cannot teleport into an area protected by the banner of the goddess.
Well, what about our long-term goals? Do you know how to get rid of the World Wound forever?
Now you are talking like a real knight commander. However, answering your question is not easy. To win this war, we must bar the demon's way. There are a few planar rifts leading to the Abyss across the territory we call the World Wound. The best specialists we could find have tried to close them on separate occasions, with no success, as you may have guessed. The World Wound is more than just a chain of portals to the Abyss. We do not understand its nature yet. The methods of rift closure known to magical science simply do not work here. However, we have a hypothesis, and a rather well-grounded one, that we must begin at the source of the problem, the place where the World Wound was opened. The main rift lies through the city of Iz and the Threshold Fortress, deep in the former lands of Socorus. We have never managed to fight our way so far and gain a foothold to allow the mages to explore the origins of the World Wound. So, the next step, after you succeed in Dresden, is an offensive push deeper into the World Wound, with the aim of reaching Threshold. The very threshold of the Abyss.
Alright, I don't have any more questions.
Wonderful.
We'll show her the Covenant of the Inheritor, which is what we just made. Do you remember this?
I thought this relic was destroyed many years ago. How strange it is to see it whole again. At one time, it gave me hope. I am pleased that this object will serve the Crusade once more.
I had a vision of Iomade giving her covenant to you.
I was young, and did not fully understand the magnitude of the duty that had been entrusted to me. Iomade gave me hope and strength to see me through the trials ahead, and in so doing, she won my everlasting loyalty.
Do you still remember the oath you swore in battle?
Always. No matter how arduous, no matter how dark the skies, no matter how much blood flows from my wounds, I shall stand with you. We shall fight for our loved ones and our friends, for the right to live and die free. We shall do everything we possibly can, And after that, we shall begin to do the impossible. And if the hour should come when our arms can no longer raise our swords, our bodies will become a shield to cover those who still have strength to fight. I, Golfrey, Queen of Mendev, swear this to you. This is my vow.
You withstood a blow from a real Vorlesh in that battle?
I would proudly declare that to be true, and say that even our Rilu Vorlesh could not kill me on her first attempt. But to do so would be boasting. I was protected by my goddess. However, I was glad to see that, no matter how great the betrayer of humanity's power, it is nothing as compared to Iomede's might.
So, here we have the option to give her back the Covenant or to keep wearing it. In my mind, the fact that it was lost and we found it means that Iomede probably wanted us to have it. So I'm going to say I would like to keep wearing this relic.
Then so you shall. What matters is that the Covenant of the Inheritor has been recovered. Perhaps it should be in your hands now, because you have greater need of it. But should you ever feel that you no longer need this relic, I ask that you give it to me. I would be delighted to touch it again.
And what are you going to do?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
So we do have the option, which is an Angel Mythic Path option, to ask her to remain with us. I don't really see how that's helpful, actually, so I'm just going to say thank you for your reply.
Of course.
I think that's mainly if you want to romance her, you can ask her to hang out with you.
Splendid. Ah, yes. We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable. Count, there you are. You received my instruction?
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, she has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
That's a great idea.
I knew you would approve, Commander. I had my doubts about whether you were ready for such a responsibility, Count, but your conduct in Kenobris has put my mind at ease. So, you will travel with the troops to Dresden. Only the Commander may remove you from your post, but I trust that you will dutifully fulfill her orders and make a good showing of yourself. Especially since word of your appointment, Count, will reach the court at any moment. All of Mendev's nobility will be following your successes in service to the nation, including all of your devoted admirers. I even heard that one bard with whom you are particularly friendly has already begun composing a ballad to honor your heroic participation in the Crusade and your faithful service to the Commander here.
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
Then let's get going. May Iomede help us.
And now Nevia is here. I guess I didn't even see her in camp when we were running around. So, tell me straight, how'd that brawl at the Grey Garrison end? I heard the rumors, of course. That's kind of my job, you know, to listen. You've no idea what cobblers and crusaders say about you. Some say that Iomede came to you and appointed you her herald. Others say that you died, and an honest-to-God's angel is now leading the army disguised as you. Still others say it was just an explosion at an alchemist lab, and I'm the one spreading rumors about your powers. I wish. But you know, you really have changed since the Grey Garrison. It's hard to describe, but you've become kinda more charismatic? More dangerous. I have a gut instinct about these things. If I didn't, I'd already be dead. You're dangerous, Commander. And by Desna, I hope you'll be dangerous to our enemies, not to us. Or to yourself. Alright. Weirdo. So we'll go ahead and pick up the loot that apparently was left for us in our tent here. This is going to be our stash over here, I believe. And I think what we'll do for the rest of the episode here is just go through the level ups that we have. So Woljif has a level up. And for Woljif, come on, we'll be selecting another level in Arcanist Brown Fur Transmuter. He'll get the skills that he has the most of. Let's see, level 1 spells. Gosh, I don't know that we'll really be... I think we have most of the ones we'll be casting. We'll pick True Strike here. Because... Oh god, also I don't remember if he can cast Divination on other people or just Transmutation. Let's take a quick look at that. Nope, just Transmutation. So I actually don't want that one. I'm a big fibbing fibber. How about Burning Hands? And... it doesn't really matter because we're not going to be casting these anyways, most likely, but we'll put Ear-Piercing Scream in there too. And Darren's level up. We're going to be going Oracle with him. Take the 3 that he already has skills in. I'm just doing that because I think we already have things kind of balanced in what we're using for the party currently. I'm not 100% that we do, but it seems like we do. So we do have a couple good options here for level 3. Do we only get one? We only get one level 3 spell. I don't think I'm going to take Delayed Poison then. In Magical Vestment and Arcan's Aura, and I Cure Serious Wounds would be good too, but Magical Vestment and Archon's Aura would be good spells to actually cast. And Resist Energy Communal would also be very good, and would be very good on Darren specifically because he is our spontaneous caster. So I think we'll go that way actually. So he'll be kind of a defensive healer a little bit. Well, until we get him some more spells at level 3, I guess. So I believe that's all the level ups we have. Now we just have mythic abilities left to choose. So Seela first. There are 3 in here that I think are going to be important for the way that we are building Seela. Those are going to be Leading Strike, Mythic Charge, and Mythical Beast. The reason that those 3 are going to be important is because we are going to have her tanking on her pet. We're likely to be charging in to open every battle with her. Almost every battle, at least, we'll be charging in to open with her. Which, since she's on her pet and we're playing in real time with pause, actually her attacks and her pet's attacks will alternate during the round. So Leading Strike has a very good chance after we get her pet enough bonuses to fight defensively and only take a -1. A very good chance to trigger the damage on Leading Strike more than once per round. Which I think you can do. It just says your strikes make cracks in the enemy's existence. So if Seela hits him and then the pet hits him and then Seela hits him and then the pet hits him, it should trigger twice. I'm not sure that the attacks will work exactly that way. The pet will have less attacks overall during the round than Seela, but there should be occasions where their attacks weave similar to that. That's going to be better after we're able to mount, though. We're not able to mount just yet. So that's the one I would say that's on the back burner for now. Mythic Charge and Mythical Beast would be the one that would be good for us to take right away here. Mythical Charge, obviously, we don't really have Seela's our reach weapon currently. We do have her charging fairly regularly into battle, But I think Mythical Beast is going to be the best option here because it does allow our pet to ignore damage reduction just entirely now, and it gives us extra bonuses to the stats of the animal, just making it better overall. So that's what we're going to take first here. All right, let's take a look at Lan. So Lan is playing Archer. So, I mean, he still does have the same reasons, I guess, to want to take Mythical Beast. However, he also has reasons to want to take ranging shots, which just gives him a stacking bonus every time he misses. Which one is it that decreases their armor? Distracting shots or something like that? Yeah, distracting shots. If we hit an enemy with a ranged weapon, they receive a penalty on their armor class equal to half of our mythic rank. So this, obviously good for everybody in the party. Having one as a minus on the armor class, though, really isn't great. So this one can definitely be put off until later. So we've got, but we do want to take it eventually. Distracting shots, ranging shots. We have Mythical Beast. That's 3. And the one that I'm actually going to take now, I really like this one actually, is Cleaving Shots. Each time you deal critical damage with your ranged weapon attack, or reduce the target to 0 hit points, you deal your weapon damage to all other enemies in 10 feet. So one great thing about this one right off the bat is that it does not scale with your mythic level. So it's as powerful as it's getting right out of the gate, and the scaling happens with you picking up better weapons. Or in the case that you stuck as Zen Archer, the scaling happens with you getting extra levels to have a higher unarmed attack roll. The other ones are all, this, like I said, this one is only going to be good later. This is either the third or the fourth one you take. So the two that we'll be deciding on next time, I think, will just be Mythical Beast or ranging shots. Ranging shots is another one that that doesn't scale with mythic level, but I think Mythical Beast will probably be the next one we take, and then ranging shots will be the one after that. So first up is Cleaving Shot. Well, I already know what I want. No, actually I don't know what I want for Camilla. Ember. So, I think for Ember, we're going to go with the Ascendant Element right away out of the gate. Fire, in her case. I did always think it would be kind of a neat idea to push her into Winter Witch and take Cold and then take a Bloodline that allows you to use all of your spells as cold damage. But with the Bloodline things not working, and we haven't really been building her that way this particular playthrough, but that's not even an option with the Bloodline things not working. The other options that I would consider for her, or that we'll be taking eventually, are Abundant Casting. This one is just amazing. Getting extra spells to cast is I don't know, it makes the magic classes more usable at this level right away, and more powerful, obviously. Others for her, Elemental Barrage is going to be bad for her because we're pretty much just going to be using fire spells. I don't know that I would really consider, I mean, you could take the Wandering Hex thing. I don't think she's a good, to me, she doesn't seem like she's a good option for that one specifically. So Abundant Casting, Ascendant Element, or maybe Enduring Casting. Where's that one here? Enduring Spells. But we aren't using her a lot for buffing right now, and Enduring Spells obviously is much better for buffing. So we're going to take Ascendant Element Fire. And then next mythic ability will be taking Abundant Casting. Nenio. We're kind of at the same thing here. We don't want an Ascended element for Nenio. She's not going to be doing any of this energy damage. Maybe she'll be doing some negative energy damage. There are some necromancy spells that don't require 2-hit rolls, but most of the elemental damage does require 2-hit rolls in the form of raise, having ranged touch attacks. Some of the area of effect ones, like Chain Lightning and Fireball, obviously don't, but there's not enough of those. And we're still going to be focused primarily on the kind of instant death illusion spells for her. Archmage Armor is one we probably want to pick up at some point for her, but not this level. It's not an important one at all. It might be like one of the later or last ones that you pick up, and it would just be if you're having trouble keeping her alive. Enduring spells, she is casting a lot of buffs, so enduring spells would also be very good for her. I do know that there is a way that you can, with greater enduring spells, let's grab this real quick. The effects of your spells on your allies that should last longer than 5 minutes but shorter than 24 hours now last 24 hours. You can get haste through a series of meta magic feats to last more than 5 minutes. So if you have greater enduring spells, technically you can cast haste for 20. That will affect you for 24 hours. Magic Nullification, Magic Immunity, and dispels spell effects on us. I was thinking it would dispel spell effects on... Why is this down here now? Okay. I was thinking it might dispel effects on enemies, which would be good, but on us is much less good. So I do think with her, we really need to go Abundant Casting right out of the gate here. This will just give her, a ton of magic missiles at level 1, and it'll give her more utility for all the other 3 levels here that we have access to currently. I will leave Camellia for just a bit here. For Darren, kind of the same thing we could talk about Abundant Casting, Archmage Armor, and Ascendant Element. Him and Ember both, though, do have a lot of casts for their lower levels, just based on the amount of charisma that they have. So Abundant Casting is a little bit less important for those two. Because he's an Oracle, he also does have the option of Beneficial Curse. I don't think that I'm going to pick that one up right now, though. We do also have a second mystery option, which gives him access to other revelations that he can potentially use, including the final revelation that he'll get at the end here. In this one, it's 20th level. All spells with electricity cast by the Oracle are always empowered. He currently has life. Can we see life's final? So the one that he has currently, we become a perfect channel for life energy, immune to bleed, death attacks, exhaustion, fatigue, nausea effects, negative levels, and sicking effects. So that's great for him, but it doesn't really do anything for anyone else. Boundless Healing is also another good option. It makes any cure we cast, instead of being range touch, it becomes range close. And if we cast one that has ranged close innately, it would become ranged medium. Actually, I think I'm going to think about the other 3 that we have here a little bit more. Wait, does Camellia have community as a domain? I don't think she does. I think she has animal. Class. No, animal and fire. Okay. So I'm not going to think about Camellia's. I do know what I want for her. We're going to take an extra domain. Not domain zealot. Impossible domain, that's what I want. And we want community. Community includes guarded hearth, and I think Erastil's the only god that innately has community. But this cooldown was a lifesaver in Kingmaker. And it's probably one of the most powerful ones still here. I know I've heard people talk about the nobility one. The nobility one is alright. I mean, it's hard to get insight bonuses. So this is a good extra buff. But community has, Guarded Hearth has sacred bonuses, if I remember correctly. Sacred bonus equal to your wisdom modifier. So it's not as great on her as it would be on someone who is more dedicated, because I believe her wisdom is only 16. And we'll get it to be a little bit higher than that once we gain access to things that give us wisdom bonuses. But her ability of this is not going to be as good as the one that I had. I made my main character have community domain. I believe I was an Inquisitor in one of my playthroughs. I had a Biter character too, but he was not an Inquisitor. He was a Barbarian. But this is only usable once a day, but it kind of does make at least one fight, or if you can pull things back into the range of it, any fight, kind of much easier than it would otherwise be. Let's just say that. Also, the Calming Touch is the standard action to heal, a little bit of damage, but it also removes fatigue, shake, and sicken conditions. So Calming Touch is also very good. And yeah, Woljif and Darren haven't been coming out with us at all, so I don't know what I want to pick up with them. Oh, actually with Woljif I do. We are going to be using Woljif for buffs, so I do want to pick up enduring spells with him. Just would like them to last longer. So just Darren. I don't know what I want to do with Darren yet. So we'll cut this episode at this point. I'll think about what I want to do with Darren a little bit, and I'm not going to be bringing him out right away with us either on this first kind of run. I think we need Social, and I think we need Sela for sure with us. So we'll have to cut one person from the party that we've been bringing normally. Maybe Camellia? Probably Camellia. The party that we've been bringing currently out with us in order to fit Social in. And then we'll, head out to the locations that they want us to go to. But for now, thank you so much for spending the time with me for this episode. If you like the content, please click on the like button. If you'd like to see more of the content, please click on the subscribe button. And otherwise, I will see you next session.